a product of the product. This is the easiest thing you can do, because not only are you probably doing this already, but it takes really no effort on the outside. So what does being a product of the product mean? It means that you're consuming Shakeology, Beachbody performance products, you're doing the workouts, and you're doing personal development. So really it's all about you. And I don't know about the other coaches out there, I think we're all in the same boat, but I always tell my customers and my coaches, that's the number one thing you should be focused on anyways. Like, you should put yourself first. Self-care is everything. So why is being a product of a product important? Because people won't trust you if you're not using the products and doing the workouts. So who are you to sit there and share on social media like, oh, join me doing Beachbody, I'm doing this workout, or sharing Shakeology, if you're not using it? So the best way for you to be able to share that is if you're consuming the products and you understand how they're helping you. People probably won't be as interested or willing to join you if they don't see you on social media using the products. So, sorry, I took a couple notes tonight, but the other thing about sharing products is people don't want to see like, oh, here's Shakeology, it's a superfood shake, yada yada. They want to know how it's actually helping you. How does it make you feel? How is it changing your body? And so the best way for you to know that is to be consuming the products. So the other part about that, sorry, I'm like losing track of my notes. But yeah, so anyways, so a part of being a coach too is sharing on social media. So if you're not using the products or doing the workouts, like that takes off a huge part of what you can actually share on social media. So if you're not using the products, what are you going to share about? So just keep that in mind. And then also when it comes to your workouts, you should really fully commit to doing a program start to finish. Take that before picture, take that progress picture, take that in picture, show people that if you commit to a full program, that these workouts really do work. So that's the importance of committing to a program. But then probably even more importantly, so Beachbody sets us up for workouts, nutrition. People are going to see your physical change if you commit to that. But what they also want to see, and people love to see, is people pushing themselves mentally. Like, how can you become a better person each and every day? And that's where personal development comes into play. So people are inspired by people who are constantly pushing themselves to become better. And so personal development could mean that you're joining our monthly book club each month. There's Amazon Audible, you can download tons of personal development books. You can jump onto different podcasts. There's tons of free podcasts out there. Beachbody Champions page, 411 page, all of those Beachbody pages, not only do they have coaches come on there and coach you on how to run the business, but so many of them actually teach and preach personal development too. So there's many different ways you can get personal development in throughout your day, whether it's books or, like I said, just the different Beachbody pages. So, sorry. I think that's all. So yeah, first and foremost and easiest thing you can do is just be a product of the product and show up every day and share what you're doing, because you might not have like the customers or the coaches or the following yet, but if you show up every day and people see that these things are working for you, they're going to be interested, they're going to be intrigued, and they're going to say, if this is working for that person, then it could work for me. I will tell you that a lot of people have the stereotype that at-home workouts just don't work. Well, they don't work if you don't work. You have to put in the work to show people that they can work. So the best way to do that is just to commit yourself, use the products, share about it. Again, share how they make you feel. Don't just share what they are, ingredients or anything. Anybody can Google Beachbody and our products will come up, the ingredients will come up. they can easily, you know, jump on and find a coach anywhere. What they want to see and what people want to know is how these products are making you feel. That's all.
Great. I think Jody is next, and she's going to talk about social media. So.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. That was so many good tips. You have to be a product of the product, or else all of this stuff is a mute point. So I'm first going to talk about your coming out post, and that sounds kind of scary, but it totally doesn't have to be. This is basically you opening up the doors to your business, because social media is really our business, right? That's where we run our business. That's where our shop is, if you want to call it that. And people don't know what you're doing unless you tell them. And so I think a lot of people, myself included, wait until they have the results to share what they're doing. And I will tell you from experience that that is not the best way to go, because I was really good at posting in my stories or sharing in my stories, but I waited until I had already met my goal before I ever posted about anything, and nobody had any idea what I was talking about. So really the best thing to do is, I know you guys all have a pen and a piece of paper, is to really think about your why you signed up to do Beachbody. What first intrigued you? Why do you have the goals that you have? And not, they can be, and they probably started off being, I have a wedding in 5 months. I want to lose the weight I gained during pregnancy. But really, like, there's a deeper why in there. And I think it's important to find that so that you have something to hold on to when it gets hard. And that why can be one thing that you use to create your coming out post. It doesn't have to be like, hey guys, I'm doing Beachbody, want to buy some stuff? And it shouldn't be like that, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to share what's working for us and invite people to do it with us, not to be salesy and weird. So I urge you, if you haven't already done it, to think about your why, like truly deep down why you're doing this, for your kids, for your self-esteem, for your husband, whatever. Like, think about why, and then if you're comfortable, try to make that into a post that you can tell people, hey, you guys, like, I'm starting this health and fitness journey because I feel like this, and I don't want to feel like this anymore because I have a goal to feel like this. Or however that sounds in your head, however you talk is how you should post about it. But I really, really, really do urge you, Sarah said, don't say, I'm doing Beachbody, want to join me? Because people will get off of your Instagram and go straight to Google and Google it, and they are not gonna get you, and they need you. They may not know that they need you and your accountability and your support, but they do. So it's not weird to not say things. It's not weird to be like, oh, my superfood shake. Don't say the word Shakeology, because people will go Google it and they'll buy it themselves, and they won't get a challenge pack, and they'll pay too much money, and they just won't know. So when you're thinking about your coming out post, there's a really good outline in the Team Heart and Hustle page. Try not to take it word for word, because really this should be from your heart why you're deciding to be healthy. And I urge you to not wait, because people, for a couple of reasons. Number one is the accountability is huge, because you've told the world that you are going to do this thing, and you better do it because you told everybody about it, and people are going to be waiting for you to see your results. And number two, they're watching you, right? They might not sign up that same day you post your coming out post, but I guarantee they'll be watching, and they'll be waiting, and they're probably going to be expecting you to fail. And when they see you not failing, and they see you keep going, and they see the mental and physical changes that are going to happen when you are a product of these products, they're going to want to know more. So it could take, and it most likely will take, months, right? They're not just going to like, yeah, sign me up. I want to pay $200. I don't know what you're doing, but give it to me. Some people will do that, but most people won't. People want to see you go through what life, because their life probably looks busy like yours, and they want to know that it can work. So don't be like me and wait until you have results and then try to be backtracking all the time and being like, yeah, I was like this, so trust me. Like, I know you can't see it in my stories or in my posts, but I was. They need to be able to go back to your store, to your Instagram story and look in your pictures and be like, dang, look what she did. That's like amazing. So make sure you start now. You might not feel ready, but it gets so much easier the more you do it, and it's just going to spur you on to get better results faster, and that's just going to build your business better and faster. The other thing, I already kind of touched on it. We don't do sales. I had someone message me yesterday and she was like, yeah, I just can't do sales. And I was like, you're perfect. Let's go. Like, do not do sales. It's not sales. You are using something that you know works and you're sharing it with your friends and your family and people you think can benefit. So it's not like, oh, I can't do sales. Like, I could not sell something to anybody, but I can share what changed my life. And that's the whole thing. Like, you're just inviting them on this journey that you are taking and you know will work for everybody. And that mindset shift from sales to sharing is a huge one in this business. The last thing is, when you're creating posts and content for your pages, keep in mind that before you started Beachbody, you didn't do Beachbody at all. So you are a person separate from your Beachbody business, and people want to see that. People don't just want to see you every day posting like, look at my shake, look at this food I'm eating, look at my workout, I killed it. They want to see you with your kids. They want to see you doing your job. We like to call them the 5 pillars. And I know you have a piece of paper and a pen. Drop it in what are they called? The chat is what I'm trying to say. I've already had a lot of wine tonight. I don't know if you guys can tell. But drop it in the chat, your 5 pillars. These are the things that you post around. One of them should be health and fitness because that's your job. One of them, like one of mine is parenting. My husband has cattle, so that's one of my things. But they should be 5 things that are really personal to you. If you like to DIY stuff, do that. If you like to make healthy meals, that can be a thing. If you don't like to make healthy meals, that can be a thing too. Whatever makes you you need to share that, because you need to find the people that relate to you and that you want to work with people that are similar to you, because you guys will just connect so much better. So that's all I got.
That was awesome, Jody. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Dana has put together an awesome new coach Get Started Right call. It is found in our team page, and it is, I think I can make a big screen. Oh, that made it smaller. It is like gold, and like basically everything we're talking about tonight is in here. So it's in a photo album. It says Team Heart and Hustle, like new coach Get Started Right. We can tag you in it afterwards if you want to like look at it. It's going to talk about more than what we talk about tonight, but just bouncing off what Jody said, like, she's so right that we are not, if this is a little screenshot of like my Instagram about a year ago, as you can see, it's not like Shakeology holding up my Energize container. It's not like, you know, all showing all the color coded containers. There's a time and maybe a place for those things, but I almost find that people connect to me more when I am not even talking about anything Beachbody related. When I'm just talking about my kids, when I ever do home projects, oh my goodness, people come out of the woodworks to tell me how I should do stuff to my house. When I talk about my faith. So like, here are just some ideas of like things to post about. And it brings you to then like you start connecting with all of these people that just get you and they're like you and it's fun. And then like comes the next part, which is I'm going to talk about inviting. And a lot of people get really scared at this. I can tell you for a fact, it was probably all the leaders that are talking tonight. It was like our number one fear. And sometimes it still is. But it comes very naturally when you are sharing from the heart, when you are connecting with people like you, to then all of a sudden, you know, they're going to see if you're sharing your story, you're sharing, you know, okay, a snippet of a workout here, you know, your Shakeology or your Energize here in your stories. They're going to see that. And it's going to be really easy when you're having a conversation to be like, hey, I don't know if you saw, but I'm actually running a boot camp in a couple of weeks. I know you're a busy mom like me. Would you be interested in learning more? One, that's not icky. 2, that's like, you are just like making a connection and just asking if they're interested at all. So really just take that pressure of like being salesy and like we call it an invite, but it's really just saying, hey, do you want to try this out with me? Like we get along so well. I would love to do this with you. And like, just go from there. When you are connecting and just sharing your story, that invite can happen very naturally, but you do have to put an effort. If you are just going to connect all day long and hope that someone sends you that, like, hey, I want to join that boot camp, that happens every once in a while, and you better dance and sing hallelujah at the top of your lungs, but that doesn't happen very often. Let me just tell you that. So you need to be intentional with asking people as well. And if we look at it, like Jody said, this is our storefront. Your social media is your storefront. When you walk into Apple, especially Apple, or like Von Maur or any like Macy's, someone is coming up to you and being like, hey, what can I help you with? And that's exactly what people are doing when they're walking into your social media. It's okay to just, even if you've never connected before, but they've been watching and engaging with you, just be like, hey, I don't know if like we get along really well and we must share some common interests. Are you interested at all in this health and fitness thing? And just go from there. So inviting is next. And I'm also, so here it also talks about the commitment post. I'm also going to talk about next Success Club. So I'm going to skip a few. Seriously, this thing is gold. I would highly recommend you go check this out after our call is done. It gives you some inviting. It tells you how to sign people up. All right, so Success Club. We are going to talk about what that is. You probably have seen us. We have this little May Lives Change graphic where a lot of us are sharing like what Success Club number we are at. So basically, a few years ago, the company Beachbody looked at the successful coaches and they said, okay, what are these coaches doing every single month that, you know, is moving their business forward? They're getting new customers, they're signing coaches, they're growing their business. And they noticed that those coaches were signing up 3 people every month, not 100, not 25, not 50, 3. Like with a challenge pack. So most likely what you signed up with, which is Beachbody On Demand for a year plus a product. So they helped 3 people every single month with a challenge pack. So they put Success Club system in place. And what it is you have to hit Success Club 5. So 5 points every single month to hit it. And if you sell a challenge pack is worth 2 points. So that's why we always say help 3 people every month. You're going to hit Success Club 6. If you can keep going, heck girl, keep going. But that's it. You just need to be helping 3 people. I'm going to be honest with you. That doesn't mean you write down 3 people's names right now and like you just go talk to them. Because like Jody just said, like people are still trying to trust you. They're still trying to figure out like, is this thing this girl is doing, like, is she just going to stop in a month or so? Like one of those things, because I'm not going to sign up with her. They are watching you. Most likely they're going to think you're going to fail, and it's up to you to prove them wrong. Some people are going to be ready the first time you ask. Some people will be ready the 10th time you ask. Some people will be ready. I'm here 3 years down the road. Some people are still, who've been watching me on day 1 of my journey, are signing up 3 years later. So you just have to respect that you have to meet people where they are. So signing up 3 people, maybe that means you're talking to 20 people and inviting them. Maybe it means you're talking to 10 people and inviting them. You just need to start posting and you need to start talking to, and that's why we want you to hit Success Club. Some other major perks. So this slide just kind of shows you how to hit Success Club and the easiest and most common way. So it just shows like a challenge pack. So like what I just talked about, that is 2 points. If someone gets just Shakeology on Home Direct, some people, I don't get it. Like they just want the workouts. Or they don't want the workouts, they just want Shakeology. Like why? I don't get it. But that's still 2 points. Daily Sunshine is 2 points. Performance Line is 2 points, Beach Bar is 2 points, any combination of Home Direct products that total 90 volume is 1 point. So these are all the different ways that you can hit Success Club, just to make that clear. All right, and then of course, maybe this is brand new to you, or maybe you've seen this. There's that Success Club trip that they have put in place. The company has some really, really cool things for us to to help 3 people a month. Like they set up this all-inclusive trip. Unfortunately this year to Punta Cana, it was canceled due to all the COVID stuff. So we were like literally heartbroken and crushed. But that means that Riviera Maya in Mexico is just going to be that much better. So any coach can opt in for this trip. And if you are hitting Success Club at all, you will get the invite. So every Success Club point you hit, it will go towards trip dollars. And there's a whole nother section for that. But like, you could earn potentially a free trip for you and your spouse or a friend, or just go by yourself. And go by yourself, we're all going to be there, and it's going to be a blast. And our next one will be in April in Riviera Maya, Mexico. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the Success Starter Program. And this is a brand new program they put out, I think in December. And it is, I'm so jealous that it was not around when I first signed up as a coach, because it has so many amazing things for new coaches in here. So what you must do to hit Success Starter is you must hit Success Club for 3 months out of your first 6 months of coaching. Just to give you perspective, it used to be you had to hit it the first 3 months. You had to hit it every single month for the first 3 months. So they gave you now 3 more months for you to hit Success Club. So the first 3 out of your first 6 months as a coach will get you Success Starter. So Success Starter benefits, you will earn a free ticket to Summit in 21-21. That's weird to say, 21-21. We don't know, they haven't announced where that is going to be yet, but that is like our big Beachbody conference. It is awesome. This year it was supposed to be in New Orleans. Again, due to COVID stuff, we're not having it. But you go earn a free ticket, which is around like $200. It earns you a spot. This is probably the one where I'm so jealous of, in a test group in a program that has not yet been announced. So we actually have 2 girls on our team who hit Success Starter back in March. So they just started the test group this week for the new program that comes out in July, which is that Muscle Burns Fat, MBF. And they get to be the first ones to try it out before any of us get to do it. They get to work one-on-one with a trainer, and they just get to be like, it is a test group is one of the coolest experience, and you as a new coach can have that opportunity to work really closely one-on-one with trainers and get just awesome results. You also earn our team 25 elite points when you hit Success Starter. So you're not just helping yourself in your own business, but you're helping our whole entire team. Of course, you're going to be getting commission when you're hitting Success Club, because you're getting people with challenge packs or Shakeology. And that means, you know, your Shakeology and all your business fees then will be covered, and you're going to have extra room for date night or diapers or Target runs or girls' night out or whatever that is. And then that also means that you've earned 3 months to Riviera Maya, Mexico, because you've been hitting Success Club. So those are just some of the benefits to the Success Starter program and to hitting Success Club. And I just wanted to make sure you understand how important that is right now in your business and how really exciting that is for you guys. So I'm going to pass it on to Dana, and I think I want to stay on the screen. I won't stop share screen yet.
Yep, just for a second, go to that Emerald screen. You can go to the next one. Okay. All right. So tonight, the topic that I'm going to talk about of getting started in your business is Going Emerald, which is the first big rank that you can hit in the company. And you know, before you start thinking, like, write any of this off, because you might be thinking, I'm just getting started on my journey. And then you guys asked me to go and ask people to join me as customers, and that's a little overwhelming. And then now you're talking about me signing up coaches. Like, I'm not ready for this. No one's ever ready for these things. It's just hear me out of what this can do for you. Because if you're here listening on this call, that means you're interested in something a little more than just first your priority, which is your health. Like, you are interested in learning more about the business. So to be an Emerald coach, I'm going to keep this super simple tonight, just not to overwhelm you. We have 2 legs, as you can see on the screen. I don't need to really use my hands. We have 2 legs and we are I have to use my hands. We are the top of that. You are your own business center. You are the CEO of your business, which is incredible, because there's not another business out there that you can open for this low of a cost, AKA no cost at all. Entrepreneurs are in debt to get their businesses up and off the ground. Like, so this is incredible that I want you to start thinking of yourself as that, a business owner at the top. So we have the 2 legs. And so to be an Emerald coach, that means that you have 2 coaches directly under you, and they are active coaches. That just means you have, 90 PV per month? Yes? Okay, 90 PV per month to be active. 50. Okay. Is it 50?
What was your question?
50?
Sorry.
To be an active coach, how much PV you have to have? Because you can be Emerald. You can have 2 coaches under you, but if they're not active, you're not Emerald.
You just need 50.
50. Okay. Sorry. I had a brain fart.
I was just seeing the 21.
Oh. Which was both our error, because you typed that, then I copied it and didn't fix it, but whatever. Anyway, okay, so you have, to be an Emerald coach, you have 2 coaches directly under you that are active, 1 on each leg. So the thing that I really wanted to talk about was the decision to go Emerald is just that. It's a decision. It is opening those doors of your business. It's moving beyond this idea of a hobby that you maybe want to make something more with this. The first thing I wanted to share is we really recommend that one of those coaches be a spouse or a family member. And again, before, I think that sends people running a little bit and it scares them, but that's good. Because if it's scary, that's where you're going to grow and that's where things are going to happen. But also putting that person there, over time, when you build this business, you will generate volume and you want to have this account that is controlled. So I guess it's more of just a trust thing. Trust us that that's where you want them, because right now, trying to make sense of every single piece, we've done calls where we've gone so in depth of what this all means, and it's like, I don't get it. But if you're here and you're saying, I want to be a part of this, I want to open this as a business, I want to share this with people, I want to impact people's lives, then you need to put that spouse, that family member in that controlled spot, and we can help you where that spot is for you, but it is so important. Now, something I'm going to go a little farther with today is that second coach account is how do you go and you find that other person? And then I'm going to talk about why you want to do this, what perks you have from it. But that second person I want to talk about for a second. So that first one might be kind of easy. And that second one, I think a lot of people wait for that. You know, they don't sign up their spouse because they're waiting for that person that's ready to be a coach with them. Here's what I'm going to tell you today. And I didn't talk to these girls about this, but it's kind of something that's been on my mind is I wish I would have signed somebody up really close to me, like my mom, for example, in that second spot, rather than waiting for that random person to be at the top of my coach center. Because that person, someday when you build this business that you're going to build, is going to generate so much volume that to have somebody else that you love, that you could support, that you could potentially provide an income for them or for you or however you make it work, to have both of those be a controlled center, I feel like would be really vital. So how do you go and you find that second person? It doesn't have to be a family member. Like for myself, I wish I would have put my mom there a long time ago. In the very beginning, I wish I just would have gone to her and said, I'm doing this. I love it. She was actually doing Beachbody too. Would you do this with me? But the other thing is, if you're thinking about asking a friend or somebody like that to be that second spot, the second coach for you, is we got to get out of our own head and just think of it. You've joined this as a coach for a reason, because one, you were excited about the discount, you're excited about the programs, or you've seen results. I don't know, you all have your own reasons, but you decided to be here for a reason. So why would you not invite somebody else to do that with you? Like we've talked about inviting a lot tonight, we get in our own heads bad. And it's simple. It's like, I use the analogy a lot of going to a restaurant. So you find a new restaurant and you try it out and it's really good. Are you not going to tell a single person about it? You're going to keep that to yourself, or leggings or whatever that really good thing was? No, you shouldn't. That's selfish. So the same thing for this with coaching. Like I like to encourage people to ask that friend, like, hey, let's do this together. Like it's okay to be, you should be excited. It's okay to be like, it's new for both of us, but let's do it together. Like, I think that would be awesome. I wish I had asked more people in the beginning to like kind of run this with me, just to partner up and not feel alone in my own business center. You know, I had the whole Heart and Hustle team. You're never alone, but that I had taken a little more ownership a lot earlier. Okay, so the perks of being an Emerald coach is it just, first of all, it opens that business center. You are going to get called out. I'll give you the best GIF ever. We'll call you out on your coach on your social media. It gives you some credibility, to be honest. People are going to be like, wow, that girl is really doing that thing. You have taken that first big step in the business. And then also it unlocks our second way of earning an income, which is huge in the long run. It may seem small at first, and that's the team cycle bonus. And I'm going to keep that super simple too, because in the beginning, it's not going to really affect you that much, but you are unlocking the potential for that. Team cycle bonus is when those two legs, when they both equal a combination of 300, so say 200 and 100, poof, team cycle bonus. And as an Emerald coach, you earn $14 for that. And that volume is generated from the people, those two coaches that are under you. So whatever packages they're selling or products that they're buying, that's how you earn the volume. Over time, that's why it's important for those people to be there, because they will also earn volume of everybody under them. That's why you want them up at the top. Over time, you will see that grow. And that's where I am now. My team cycle bonus is finally catching up to my commission, which is the end goal. And that's why it's so fun. It took a long time and it took a lot of hard work. But again, that's why I wish my mom was at the top, because then she would be team cycle bonusing more than she is. And then my husband's over here and we team cycle bonus on his account too. So we are team cycle bonusing in 3 centers right now. My mom is an Emerald coach, I'm a Diamond, and Erin is so dang close to being a Diamond. So, and then the customer leads, which she might've talked about that with Success Club. I can't remember. But the customer leads is when people go to Beachbody.com or teambeachbody.com and they buy a product. As an Emerald coach, you get the leads for that. So they will come and you'll start seeing in your business center that you have new customers, and they are not people that signed up directly through you. I think it's, as an Emerald coach, you get the Shakeology leads. I think that's where the difference is. So somebody that bought like a home direct product, potentially they get automatically placed with you. Everybody that signs up with Beachbody, if they don't have a coach that they're with, they get placed with somebody and dispersed. So as an Emerald coach, you get those, and we encourage you to reach out to those customer leads and just say however you want to reach out to them. But those can turn into lifetime customers. I've heard stories of those turning into coaches. And then if they would continue to buy product, even if you never hear back from them, you do still make the commission and volume off of those orders. So that's kind of where it is with Emerald. I feel like other than inviting going Emerald, maybe your palms sweaty, like kind of pukey feeling like, oh, do I really want to do that? And if that's the way you feel, then the answer is yes. That's where you're supposed to be moving. And once you get there, we'll start talking about Diamond, because we won't rest too long at Emerald. So, sorry, that was really wordy. I didn't prep like anything, so I just talked.
Are you going to go, Gunnar?
I was gonna say, I can't remember who's next.
Is it me next? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm last. Right? Okay, cool. That was awesome, Dana. So I'm going to finish this off, and my biggest piece of advice for new coaches is just have fun, because I remember when I first became a coach, it's overwhelming and it can be stressful, because anything you do that's new is going to be stressful, like Dana was saying, and will probably make your palms sweat. But I think what helped me was one time I listened to this call, and it was saying, like, if you think about everything we do as coaches, like everything we do benefits your life. And so don't get so overwhelmed with all the resources and all the things that you feel like you need to do day one. Just like take it one day at a time and have fun. And so I'm going to give you my 2 biggest pieces of advice for how to make coaching fun. So first one is lean into the community. Coaching just isn't as fun to do alone. Like, you can learn the things, and I feel like as you're coached longer, you get into a good routine and you establish a good rhythm, and maybe you feel like you can do it alone, but it's not nearly as fun as when you actually lean into the community we have and show up for the team calls, because you can always be learning more, creating group messages with other coaches who you feel like maybe are at the same place as you. So if you're a new coach, like reach out to other new coaches and set goals with them. You don't have to be a diamond coach to take initiation in this business. So like post on the Team Heart and Hustle page and say like, I want to do a power hour and let's invite together. So just make it fun, create community, take the initiative to do that. And when you do it with other people, it just makes it so much better, because pretty much all of us probably have had the same fears, the same questions, like the same concerns. And so when you voice those, you just feel so much more less alone, and all of those like fears and doubts, I feel like you can overcome. Whereas if you're just doing this on your own, so quickly, like you're going to start believing lies and you're going to start doubting things. And when you get rejected, you're going to feel like you're the only one getting rejected. So lean into the community, or coaching is not going to be as fun as it could be. My second piece of advice for how I have found coaching to be more fun is establish a work hard, play hard mentality. So this, I feel like, is so important, because I have found that when I don't work hard and just do the business maybe like one day a week or not consistently, you kind of get out of a rhythm, and then it feels more daunting to do coaching stuff again, because you've kind of been out of that rhythm. And so I would say work hard, play hard. And this is kind of what I do. So first, get crazy focused with your business hours. So like when I was a new coach, I feel like I would get super overwhelmed because I allowed coaching to kind of take over my whole day. Like I'm sure we've probably all been there, where you get your first person who's interested in signing up for a challenge pack, and all of a sudden it's like panic mode where you're like, well, what do I tell them? Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess this up. Like, this is my first person who's interested. And all of a sudden you start panicking. And then I remember I probably like blew at Brooke's phone, which is like, do that. Like reach out to your coach. Like we want to help you, because we've all been in that same place where it's literally terrifying and you feel like you can't move on with your day until you address these people's questions. But as you learn more, and which I'm going to talk about later, it's so important to continue to grow and learn as a coach. You can set up a schedule where you're not allowing coaching to overtake your day, because otherwise coaching is not going to be fun anymore, and it's going to feel overwhelming, and it's going to feel like it's kind of like sucking the life out of you, because you have other responsibilities in your life too, like friendships and your job or your family. So coaching is a huge part of your life, but it doesn't have to take priority over everything else. And one thing I heard a coach say was like, with your business, this is a business, and so treat it like one. And so you should commit to it every single day, but not all day. It doesn't have to take hours of your time. Just learn like, what are the consistent things I can do every day, and figure out, okay, what time of my day do I feel most productive? And like, for me, that is morning. So I look at the business activity tracker. If you haven't started using that, like that will make coaching more fun, because it tells you exactly what to do rather than you guessing like, oh, what do I do today? Like it just tells you what to do. So I figure out, okay, what part of my day am I most productive? And then I look at the tracker and I figure, okay, when am I going to work out? Because if you're not working out, like you're not being a great coach. But then I think about, okay, what are the hard things? And for me, it's inviting and follow up. And so I do those things first, and you adapt that like work hard mentality where you put all other things aside and you decide, okay, this 30 minutes, I'm going to invite. I'm not going to check our team Facebook page. I'm not going to check in with my challengers. I'm not going to let people blow up my phone, because I used to do that, and then it would pull me away from what I was doing. And all those things are great as a coach, and like you have a responsibility to serve those people, but you also have a responsibility to yourself and your own goals. And so it's okay to push those things aside and just be focused in that time, so that then inviting takes 15 minutes. Like you can crank out like 30 invites in like 15 minutes, rather than it taking an hour, because you're constantly having to like take breaks and all of that type of stuff. So I find that just establish a routine for yourself, and during that time, just be laser focused of like, this is the task I'm doing right now on the business activity tracker. I'm gonna be focused on it. And once it's done, then I can move on to the rest of my day. So those are my two biggest pieces of advice for how to have fun. So lean into the community, because when you don't do that, you start to feel alone and you feel discouraged, and you are your biggest, like, I feel like battle is your own mind, being able to believe in yourself and push forward. And then two, work hard, play hard. So what we want to leave tonight is just talk about taking action, because maybe some of you have been coaches for a little while. I'm not sure how long everyone's been a coach, but if you're a new coach and you're maybe wondering, okay, this has been great, like what do I do now? We just want to encourage you, just take action immediately. And like that might look different for each person, but just like commit to it and start learning. And so I think it's important to remember that every single coach had a day one, and you have a choice either to start or to do nothing. And so if you haven't started using the business activity tracker, I would say that's like the best place to start, is print that off. Look at that. If you have questions about it, reach out to your coach and ask. And then if you're not a paper pen person, there's actually an app version called the SC BAT. It's a turquoise app. I use that just because I lose my papers a lot, but you can just check off on the app. And so do that. And then I think it's just important to remember it's your own business. And so even though it's important to lean into the community, you're still responsible for putting in the work and doing those vital behaviors that it talks about, because we can't do those things for you. And then another thing is just take advantage of the resources. So if you go into your coach office, you can research FAQs, and probably every question you've ever had is answered in those. Another great resource is our cover page and the Team Heart and Hustle Facebook page. There's so many helpful links there. The new coach getting started guide, that's in there. There's so many different things. So I would just say, like, start learning, just dive full in, but don't feel like you need to like master all of these things right away. Just take it a day at a time. And if you feel stuck, just reach out to others, ask them what they're doing, but don't just only rely on like your coach, like reach out to the team as well. So that's all I have, but I do want to put 3 questions so that you actually have something tangible that you can take action on right now. And so I'm going to put the 3 questions in the chat. And what I want everyone to do is, after this call, if it's not right after the call, that's okay, but sometime soon, reach out to your coach and share your answers to these 3 questions. So they are: 1, what are you reading for PD? This is so important because when I first became a coach, this is what I neglected, because I was like, I don't need to do PD. I just need to like learn how to do the things and do them. And then I realized, like, oh, if my mindset's not good, I'm not going to do the things, even if I know how to do them. 2, what is a takeaway from tonight's call that you want to implement? So maybe it's, okay, I have the business activity tracker, but I haven't actually been connecting, or I haven't been inviting, or I haven't been actually sharing on social media. Maybe it's, I know I've been wanting to go Emerald, but I haven't believed in myself enough to actually do it. My action step is I'm going to go Emerald this week. So whatever your thing is, you're going to implement. And then the third thing is plan out what time of the day are you actually going to do the business activity tracker. It doesn't have to be you sit down for an hour and do it. It could be you do invite and connect in the morning, and then maybe you do a social media post at night. It can be broken up throughout your day, but just kind of think through your schedule. That way it's not overwhelming and you have it more organized and establish more routine and discipline. So that's all we have. Brooke, I'll give it back to you unless you have last words.
Yeah, thank you so much for those questions. Expect them from everyone on here. No, I'm just kidding. But I guess the last thing I want to say is, like, we can leave a couple minutes for if there's any like burning questions that you guys have right now. Don't be shy to unmute yourself or put them in the chat or anything like that. Anything? Sweet. We must have covered it all tonight.
Okay, sorry. I have a quick question. So I know you touched quickly on like inviting. So did you say that like with inviting, you kind of like start a conversation first before you just like actually, you don't literally do like the cold invites in a sense?
I think it can be different, however you feel comfortable doing it. For the beginning of my business, I did not feel comfortable cold inviting. It's something I do now more because I don't know, I'm just kind of over like care what they think. If they're watching me, I'm going to invite them. But like at the beginning, I would say that for the first year, like I always wanted to kind of connect with them in some way first. And just, you know, whether it's like watching their stories and shooting them a quick, like, oh, where did you get this? Or, you know, just like having a little conversation, and then building it into, hey, didn't know if you saw, I'm actually doing a boot camp in a couple weeks. Would you be interested in learning more? So if anyone else has to add to that, but I know for me, at first I wanted that connection before I invited him. Now I invite everybody because I'm like, I don't want to ever hold back because this is a life-changing thing. And I'm actually surprised at the responses of people now that I just cold invite. So anyone else have anything to add to that?
I want to add to that because that's actually kind of, I don't know if Dana really knows this, but so she messaged me about, I think, a Bible study that I was doing and just asked where I got it. And that was our first connection ever, but like it just set a tone for the rest of it. So it didn't feel like unpersonal. Like it kind of felt like, oh, we'd already connected. So I definitely recommend that. I think it helps.
That's awesome. I love that. Do you remember that, Dana?
Kind of. I was actually wondering, I was looking at my coaches on here and I'm like, did I cold invite them or did I not? Because I mean, I do cold invite too. If someone's watching my story, free game. And honestly, I've been toying with stepping up my game. I do this on Facebook. If they're my Facebook friend and I actually do know them, like from the past, I will also cold invite because I've said this on calls before. I am not going to withhold from somebody just because they are inactive on social media. Some people just don't watch stories. Some people don't get on there to check out what I'm doing. But if they're a friend or family member or somebody, an acquaintance even that I actually do know in real life in some way, shape, or form, I will send them an invite. I've shared this before. I go through the alphabet. I'm currently on the letter L. So, and I go through my whole Facebook page and I write down names of people that I think might benefit from this. So I do a little bit of both. The last thing with that I want to say is before I've been sending cold invites, lately I've been really careful to go to their profile first, just to like kind of familiarize myself, not just inviting straight from my stories, like bam, 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 bam. And I've found that people are really open to that. So like I've had some ladies that are pregnant and, you know, I'm like, hey, I know you're pregnant. And I've had so many people be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you actually noticed something about me, like in a nice way, like that wasn't just a copy paste message. You know, I've been teaching my coaches, like I have a bones to my invites, but then I try to personalize within them as much as I can.
I was going to say that exact same thing, Dana, is it takes me a little bit longer to invite because I try to make my invite personal to that person because I want that person to join me. I don't want them to think like, oh, she's just sending out mass text messages. And so, it's just however you feel comfortable wording your invite is how you should do it because it should sound like you. There are some great resources in the Heart and Hustle page, but those are all just examples, not to be followed word for word. I try to say it like I've even read my invite out loud. Like, how would I say this to a human I'm staring at? Like, would I ignore the fact that they're pregnant and just like throw up words on their face? Or would I like acknowledge and say, oh my gosh, you're pregnant, congratulations, how are you? Hey, I don't know if you're interested, you know, just try to make it sound like it's truly you. And for me, like I agree with Dana, like I try to look at what their life looks like so that I can show them how I can better relate to them and show them that this can work in their life too.
Well, I really like that idea of saying it out loud. I've never done that.
Something that has helped me a bit is to think of how I would want to be invited and invite that way. Like some people, you know, really do want a connection. For me, like I am just not great with words and I'm more of a shy person. And so the big conversation up front is not my strong suit, but so I just send them a straightforward invite now if they have anything to do with, you know, watching my stories or I see them consistently watching me. I have no problem now just sending them a straightforward invite. And I was going to say something else. Oh, what helps me before I start inviting is just remembering my why, because inviting is still like a little bit scary for me because I still have that a little bit of like, what are the people going to think? But just remembering your why, and maybe, I know Dana was, I think you shared it in your stories about writing down, your affirmations, maybe reading them out loud, just getting in a good mindset before sending them out.
Awesome. All right, we are coming close to an hour, and I want to respect all of your time. So we are going to cut things off. If you guys have, I will post this recording to the team page, and make sure to get those 3 answers to those questions to your coach. But other than that, thank you guys so much for jumping on. It was a fun night. So see you guys later.